Hi, this is Mrs. Lewis with Biology, and we are beginning Chapter 8, Cellular Energy. This includes 3 sections: how organisms obtain energy, photosynthesis, and cellular respiration. The big idea of this chapter is photosynthesis converts the sun's energy into chemical energy, while cellular respiration uses chemical energy to carry out life functions. There's 3 main ideas, one for each section. Number 1, all living organisms use energy to carry out all biological processes. 2, light energy is trapped and converted into chemical energy during photosynthesis. 3, living organisms obtain energy by breaking down organic molecules during cellular respiration. You have your essential questions, as well as your current and new vocabulary. I cannot stress to you enough how important your vocabulary is in this chapter. So how organisms obtain their energy. Cellular processes require energy, which is the ability to do work. Thermodynamics is the study of the flow and transformation of energy in the universe. There are a couple laws when it comes to thermodynamics. The first law you need to know is the law of conservation of energy, which means energy can be converted from one form to another, but it cannot be created or destroyed. Think of matter. A long time ago, you learned about the law of matter, which said matter can be changed, it can be manipulated, but it cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed. Same concept, different topic. Second law, energy cannot be converted without the loss of usable energy. That is entropy, disorder of unusable energy, and it increases. I want to take a second to point out that in your note packet, if that's the way you choose to take notes, you will be required to color. So make sure you are coloring as you see them. So autotrophs and heterotrophs, we've talked about this, but let's visit it again. Directly or indirectly, nearly all the energy for life comes from the sun. Autotrophs make their own food. It's automatic, right? So they make it with either energy from the sun or from inorganic substances. Heterotrophs have to head out and go find their food, hunters and gatherers, and they ingest other organisms in order to obtain energy. All of the chemical reactions in a cell are referred to as the cell's metabolism, a series of chemical reactions in which the product of one is the substrate for the next is called a metabolic pathway. Catabolic pathways release energy by breaking down larger molecules, and anabolic pathways use energy to build larger molecules. One way I remember this is anabolic. A is what the alphabet starts with, and it just builds up from there to something much bigger. An anabolic pathway is photosynthesis. This is where light energy from the sun is converted to chemical energy for use by the cell. And a catabolic pathway is cellular respiration. This is where organic molecules are broken down in order to release energy for use by the cell. You do need to make a note after you color this that this is definitely going to be on your test and more than likely on your EOC. ATP. It's the unit of cellular energy. Whenever I see ATP, I automatically think energy. In living things, chemical energy is stored in biological molecules. It stands for adenosine triphosphate. It's the most important biological molecule that provides chemical energy. Most abundant energy carrier in cells, the nucleotide is made up of an adenine base, a ribose sugar, and 3 phosphate groups. Now let me stop for just a second. Remember when I always say this isn't going away? This literally is in every chapter for the rest of the year. So start learning these things: ribose sugars, phosphate groups, nucleotides, and ATP and how that works, because this is all going to be broken down again for you, especially when we get to chromosomes. It releases energy when the bond between the second and third phosphate group is broken, transforms into a molecule called adenosine diphosphate, ADP, and a free phosphate group.
Are you a morning person? One of us is, and one of us is definitely not. Mainly because when I wake up in the morning, it takes a while for me to feel like I get my energy back. Takes a lot of time and coffee for that to happen for me. Cells don't really have that luxury. They're busy performing cell processes all the time, and many of the processes that they do require energy, specifically ATP energy. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. It's a type of nucleic acid, actually, and it's action-packed with 3 phosphates. When the chemical bond that holds that third phosphate is broken, it releases a great amount of energy. It also is converted into ADP, adenosine diphosphate. And really, that's just a fancy way of saying that it has 2 phosphates after losing 1. So where am I going with this? Well, cells have to make ATP energy. It doesn't really matter what kind of cell you are, prokaryote or eukaryote, you have to make ATP energy. The process for making that ATP energy can be different depending on the type of cell, but you have to make ATP energy. One way that this can be done efficiently is called aerobic cellular respiration. We are going to focus on aerobic cellular respiration in eukaryote cells. Remember that eukaryote cells have many membrane-bound organelles, such as mitochondria. They're going to be kind of a big deal in this. So let's get started. Remember, we are trying to make ATP energy. Let's take a look at this formula. Remember that reactants, the inputs, are on the left side of the arrow.
Just a reminder, the Amoeba Sisters is a wonderful place to go and check out their videos. They have some really great ones. Something else I like to go and take a look at is Crash Course and their biology. Some of them are actually quite funny. Not all of them are appropriate.